How y'all doing this morning? I'm so happy to see you all. I am so happy to see you all. I can't find what I'm looking for. Let me get to it. Another day in paradise. I'll hear you. Good morning, Miss T. How you doing this morning? Good morning, Charlonda. Miss Samela, I'm glad to hear that you're doing great. I am doing well as well. I don't have any complaints. I'm excited to talk about what I wanted to talk about this week. Guys, we are still in the month of October. All this month we've been talking about fear. Fear, we procrastinate as an act of fear. We are heavily wrapped up in a deep sense of rejection because of fear. And my goal with all of this is mutually beneficial. I had some things happening this month that I was really afraid of, and literally like the bubble guts, the stomach was upset, just the whole thing. And I was like, well, maybe if I talk about it with you guys, it'll kind of help me work through it. And it has. It's helped a lot. I did the things I needed to do to overcome my fears. I feel so much better, and I am just ready to reach for the stars, so to speak. And I want to help you do the same. All right. Good morning, Lala. Good morning. So we've been talking about this whole thing around fear. All right. Those of you that are coming in that are new, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Martine Brown. This is Learn with Martine. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I just try to step into the space, give you some encouragement, some guidance. I also run a community called The Paid Creative, where we talk about ways to get paid through AI, where we talk about where I get shared ChatGPT prompts to help you work through this mindset thing. Because what I've realized is this. I'm going to continue to teach my classes. I'm going to continue to offer my services. But to be honest with you, this business, this thing that you're wanting to have grow, if you want it to truly grow, it starts in the mind. And most people's lack of consistency, lack of commitment is grounded in what's going on in their mind. So part of my business is to offer free support about making the mindset shifts you need to make to actually do what you told your spouse you were going to do, your boyfriend you're going to do, your mom that you were going to do, in having a successful business. Okay? That's why we're here. All right? And I'm glad each and every one of you is here. Now, last week, I was a bit intermittent. I wasn't here, so I'm glad to be back this week. Okay? Let's talk about fog. Fog is one of my earliest memories. Fog, literally, we're talking about fogginess. You know, when you get up early in the morning to go to work and you can't see in front of you because there's so much fog hanging in the air. I think there are fog lights on cars. Is that a thing? You can tell I don't know nothing about cars. I don't know nothing about no car. I just turn them lights on. But we usually have fog lights that like help improve our sight when we're driving. Thank you, Miss Smella, because I'm like, I don't know. I just get in the car and turn the ignition on. I actually have some of my earliest memories involve fog. I always thought it was quite terrifying to be driving down the road, or my parent to be driving down the road, and they couldn't see what was right in front of them. But somehow we, worked our way through it. But I just remember being so scary, and I couldn't understand why they had such confidence that we would get to our destination. And I think the same is true in our own lives and in our businesses. Oftentimes, we are stepping into this business, and all of it feels foggy, especially at the beginning. Put a 1 in the chat if you can relate to this idea of feeling foggy in your business or in your life. Maybe you don't feel foggy now, but maybe you did previously. Good morning, Kaylee, Danielle. Put a 1 in the chat if you have found yourself feeling uncertain, like you're doing this thing, but you don't know how all the pieces come together, or how to put one foot in front of the other. How you doing? I'm glad to have you this morning. Let us know in the chat if you ever felt foggy in your business or in your life, uncertain. Let us know. Mr. All Business, good morning. Glad to have you this morning. I think what people don't talk about publicly, and I do, but people don't talk about publicly enough, how uncomfortable it is when you are in between having a deep sense of clarity and the chaos that can be running a business or even just living inside of our own lives. There's a lot of fogginess there, a lot of uncertainty. And that's the truth. The fear that sometimes lives inside of us because things are uncertain. Sometimes we think it comes from danger, but where it actually comes from is the fear of uncertainty. Not knowing how to take or what next, not knowing what step to take next, being uncertain about the decision you made in taking that next step. All right? Fog or uncertainty, it's a very unique space. It's a space between what you know and what's next. That is fog. Most entrepreneurs that I connect to are living in a fog. They behave that way. They step into classes that way. They refuse to do the best things for their business because of that uncertainty. Okay? It's also the space where your faith and your doubt cuddle up next to each other. Uncertainty is the space where your faith and your doubt cuddle up. They get real cozy. They're hanging out. And sometimes, to be honest with you, it can just feel paralyzing. You literally don't move forward in your business. Good morning, Tasha. I think that's Tasha. Good morning. Uncertainty paralyzes you. Underneath uncertain is this lie, because you're afraid of danger, but you're not afraid of danger. You're just afraid of what's going to happen next. And if I'm really telling the truth, you're afraid of uncertainty because you can't control it. Control. It's my Janet Jackson voice. I'm going to repeat it because I want to make sure y'all understand where I'm going with this. This is layered. We're afraid because we're uncertain. We're uncertain because we don't know what's going to happen next. We're also afraid because in this space of being in this space of uncertainty, our faith and our doubt, they live closest together. But the truth of the matter is, the reason that this uncertainty, we allow it to grow, we allow our doubt to sometimes overpower our belief that we can do it, is we can't control the next step. It's our control. It's a sense of control that keeps us paralyzed. All right? So, question, if you don't mind, question for you, and let's talk about it. Where are you feeling foggy right now? Where are you feeling foggy? Where are things feeling uncertain for you? Let me know in the chat, if you don't mind sharing. If there's an area of your life where you're feeling foggy and uncertain. Now, this week is a pivotal week for me. This is the week that my father passed away. It'll be 10 years this year. Cannot believe that. 2015, 2025, it's been 10 years. Good morning, Easy Click to Needs. And so I remember feeling very foggy about the future. Like, what does life look like? I knew what it meant to be a daughter. I knew what it meant to be my father's daughter. But I was so uncertain about what a life would look like without him. Like, could I survive a life without him? Could I handle the absence and still be able to, like, move forward? Am I allowed to experience joy even after he's gone? I remember feeling very foggy, very uncertain. That's mine. I hated it too. I also have a sibling. My sister is a kidney transplant recipient. She was on dialysis 7 years. And that was another moment where life felt very foggy. Because you don't know if she's going to get the life-saving help that she needs. We did not know. We didn't know when it was going to come. We didn't. And when you're feeling uncertain about the future, there could be an even greater weight. Because the timing, it could be a couple months. It could be a couple years. Or it could be 10 years later before you get the clarity that you need. Good morning, Charlene. Now, Linda said she's feeling foggy about her school. I've come to believe, let's talk about these schools. I know a lot of you have them. And here's what I'll say about leading or facilitating a school. I think part of the process is to acknowledge that you feel uncertain and then ground yourself in the things that you want to be clear about. All right? And good afternoon to you, Charlene. Good afternoon to you. I know that's a weird way of saying this. Good morning, Michelle. But when you're leading or facilitating a school, okay? Good morning, Desmond. Part of that process is uncertainty. That's part of the process of deciding what this group is going to be, what the group is not going to be. Dean talked about this a little bit last night. Realizing that the group, the people that you've invited in, are going to be a key driver of what this group becomes. But I'm going to give you some things to think about. Oh, yeah, Charlene, yeah. I'm going to give you some strategies to kind of step through working through the uncertainty. But I just want you to know, being uncertain when facilitating a school is part of the process. And you should see rises and falls. So you should get super clear, and then something's going to change. Your offers might change. The mood of the room might change. And then after that change, you're going to see it drift back down. And you're going to start feeling uncertain again. Good morning, Nikki. All right. But I'm going to give you some strategies today to help you walk through fogginess. Those of you that are just coming in, this morning we're talking about the fog factor. Sometimes in our lives, good morning, Linda. Sometimes in our lives, there's a deep sense of uncertainty about what we're doing, either in our personal lives or in our business. Okay? Uncertainty is the place where doubt and faith, the belief that you can do it, they live. It's also the space between who you used to be and who you want to be moving forward. And oftentimes it paralyzes us. So when we talk about schools, uncertainty looks like you don't post every day because you don't know what to post. Uncertainty looks like your group doesn't talk to you or each other. And there are seasons where the whole group is quiet. Your group might be uncertain about what to do in the space, or they're drawn to other schools for whatever reason, or you don't know what to put in the space. All right? I want you to feel comfortable and confident in knowing and understanding that those feelings are normal and you shouldn't be afraid of them. Embrace them and use them as fuel to move yourself and your business forward. Okay? Because here's the deal. When we're in the foggy season, when we're in the in-between, most people quit. Most people quit in the in-between, in the upside down of uncertainty. But here's how you can be different, all right? You can be different because fogginess does not also mean failure. All right? Fog could mean that there's a foundation being built. Here's what I'm saying. When you're driving down the road with the car and it's foggy, you turn on your fog lights. When you're driving through the fog and you have your fog lights on, you drive with confidence. Those are foundational pieces that get you to move forward and where you want to be. All right? So what does that look like in your business? Maybe you collect data. In a school community, collecting data may look like, what do y'all want to get out of this group? Let me know in the comments. All right? Data may look like, of all the posts I've made this month, which one had the most comments? I might need to repeat that kind of content. They seem to really like that. All right? Now, some of you may feel like you keep showing up and nothing's happening. Okay? Remember that it takes time to plant those seeds. It takes time. And again, it's data. It's not failure. You've got to, over time, pick out the best moments and repeat them. That's what has to happen. Okay? Good morning, Miss T. Find the moments where success was as it's best and repeat that. If we're talking the school communities that you facilitate, do it there. If we're talking about your social media, do it there. If we're talking about the products that you sell, do it there. If we're talking about the relationships that you have with those that you love, what are the moments where both partners got the most out of the relationship? Work to repeat those moments. It's all data. If we can release control and stop trying to control the next step, look at the data and repeat what works, we will find that uncertainty is one big lie. And at the end of the day, every risk you take, no matter what happens, is a risk in your favor. This is one thing I got from my mom, and I really appreciate it because she was a big risk taker. She would do these plays, and even to this day, I'm always mystified about how her brain works. Whereas other people would be like afraid because nobody else was doing what she was doing. She was doing, especially at church, she was doing these plays. I remember one year she had drummer boys. She made fake drums. She did a whole big back. And I'm like, nobody in our universe was doing it. It was a risk. And people would follow her to do these things. But she never felt uncertain about the truth and what she was doing. She may have been nervous in the background, but it didn't stop the show from moving on. And I'm very appreciative that I've been able to capture just a little of that. Y'all, I do stuff all the time. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how it's going to turn out. We've been walking for a year. I didn't know how walking was going to turn out. I just knew I needed some exercise and I needed to go live and talk about my business. I didn't know. And the people that tell you they know and they have it all figured out, they're liars. And you need to walk away from them. Because what those people have is probably teams that are helping guiding them. Probably mentorship that they've paid thousands of dollars for. They're lying. No one has it all figured out. And in the AI space in particular, the content, the skills, the know-how, it's so vast, it's changing so quickly. How could you be knowledgeable about everything? Who is you? Nobody does. It's too big and it's moving too fast. All right? So what can we do? Here's some strategies. What can we do about these schools, about the social media posts, about these communities we are either moderating, co-facilitating, about the community, the Facebook communities? What can we do when we're feeling uncertain? That is the question. Okay? How do you move through the fog without losing your footing? How do you turn on the fog lights in your life? I'm going to give you some things you can do. You need to determine your direction and quit worrying about the destination. You need to get grounded in what direction you're going. So in your school group, in a perfect world, where direction do you want to see this thing going in? All right, so for me, for Martine, when I go live 3 times a week, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. But the question I can ask myself is, what direction do I want this live to go in? And over the last year, it's changed. It's evolved. Same thing with my school. I've changed my school name. I haven't had the school up 6 months and I've already changed the name. I've already regrounded myself in what direction. But I'm very uncertain about what step to take next. And that's okay. As long as I have a general direction I want to go in. So that's the first thing you can do. Focus on your direction, not the destination. Okay? You don't need the whole map. Control freaks. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Janet Jackson lied to you, honey. You are not in control. I'm not in control either. Don't get it twisted. I'm the biggest control freak of control freaks. Okay? You don't need the whole map. Get out of ChatGPT trying to give you a 12-month plan. You haven't posted 3 times in a row in your school community. What we need a 12-month plan for? Okay, let me do number 2. Okay. I'm just saying, what you need a 12-month plan for? You don't have a plan for this week. I'm just saying. Okay? You don't need a 12-month plan. Focus on what can I get done in the next 3 days. Do that. Okay, I got 2. What can I do the next 2 days? Do that. One step at a time. Number 2, you're going to ground yourself in what is clear. What is clear? What is clear? What do you have? Here's what I know is clear. I know what I'm doing helps people. I know that I'm making a difference. And I know my work is meaningful. I have that. That's crystal clear to me. You've got to do the same thing. What is still clear? Your values, your message, your mission. Stay grounded in that. So 1, determine your direction, not your destination. 2, stay close to what you know to be true about what it is you're trying to do. If your heart flutters every time someone picks up the physical craft product that you sell, that is still true. All of your work should be pointing you in that direction. And then 3, you got to be like my mama. You got to drive through the fog. Turn your fog lights on and keep it moving. All right? I haven't been 100% happy with all of my efforts in my business this month. I haven't been. Not at all. But I realized I have to keep moving. I was doing some math. I told you guys last week that TRM Learning is approaching its 1-year anniversary. So I was talking to that team, and I was doing the math. I was like, between the three of us, we've taught between 80 and 90 hours up to this month. That's progress. That's data that I can use. Sometimes I sold the heck out of my classes. Sometimes I did not. Sometimes I felt very certain about what I was doing. Other months I was like, I don't know what to do next. But I kept moving. And our team kept moving. So you have to keep moving. So those are the three. Determine your direction, not the destination. You're not in control. Focus on the first step, very next step in front of you. Get out of ChatGPT with that. Give me a 12-month plan. You haven't done anything 12 months consistently yet. You're not going to start today. Give me a 2-day plan. Give me a plan for today. Then go back and ChatGPT and say, okay, I need a plan for tomorrow. 2, ground yourself as what is clear. Your message, your mission, your values. That should always be clear. You should not be moving forward in a business if those 3 things aren't clear. Your values, your mission, your message. And then lastly, just keep moving. Literally keep going. Because we are trying to play the long game here. We're playing the long game, not the short game, the long game. With these businesses, it should take 3 to 5 years of consistent, committed, hard work. For folks like me, that means 3 to 5 years of working a full-time job and a part-time business most days of the week with breaks in between. That's what it means. If I don't want to do that, then I need to step down and not do this business. It doesn't mean, because I'm going to keep saying it, these people are lying. They're lying to you. You're not going to make $2,000 a week in a month. It's a lie. You are not going to, let me talk about these school communities. Yes, there are schools, communities that are bringing in $10,000 a month. $500,000, one I read about yesterday, they bringing in $400,000 a month. He has a team of 4 that works underneath him. When he started, his business brought him in like $580 the first 6 months. He started in 2020. This is 2025. It's 2025, y'all. That is 5 years of consistent, committed work to get to that $400,000 a month. So quit buying crap and running the stuff because you heard they made a lot of money. Good morning, Miss T. Stop. Look at what all you've already purchased. Look what all you've already invested in. And determine your direction, not your destination. Ground yourself in what's true. And then you got to keep moving. And this growing the business thing is going to take time. It's taking me time, so I know it's going to take you time as well. Okay? Homework. This will be in the community at some point today. But here's the homework. Okay? Write down one area of your life, okay, or business where you feel things are foggy. Okay? And then I want you to write down an anchor statement. An anchor, say, it's something that you can ground yourself in this week. All right? I'm going to give you a few examples. I don't know what's next. Control freaks, we're going to start by acknowledging that we don't know what's next. And we cannot anticipate, plan, get ahead. None of it. We're just going to acknowledge and accept. I don't know what's next. But I know I'm called to create. I know I'm called to build. I know I'm called to facilitate active and engaged school communities. Even though I haven't made any money yet, I'm going to keep sowing until I reap the rewards. I'm not making any money yet. My community is free, but I'm going to stay the course. so I can earn the credibility of my audience, so I can earn their trust, and they know that when they purchase from me, they'll be better on the other end. It has to be earned. And in this market, in this world where people are laid off, furloughed, and are so uncertain about the next step, you have to earn, you gotta earn it. You have to earn the right to access their funds. You gotta earn it. Just because you made it and it's pretty is not enough. That's how these big box stores get you. Big box stores, you go in the store, oh, that's cute, and you buy it. You're not a big box store. Okay? So since you're not a big box store, you don't spend millions of dollars on advertising, you don't have 10, 20, 30 years worth of credibility, every single customer, you've got to earn their trust. All right? And here, I'm giving you here's my third example. Fog means I'm in transition. I'm not in trouble. Fog means I'm in transition. I'm in between two places, and I'm moving towards the next place. All right? In the paid creative community, if you're not in my community, go to my profile, go to my link in bio. If you're not in my community, join my community. Later today, I'm going to give you a ChatGPT prompt, the replay of today's session. All of that's free to you. Listen, and I told this to the group last week. If you're not getting better through this experience, I'm not doing my job. I don't get to grow as a business owner unless you grow as a business owner. So I'm committed to that work. I want to see you win. Because when you win, I win, and we win together. Good morning, Mr. Corey. Good morning. So I will be giving you a ChatGPT prompt, the replay of today's session, to help you think through how to handle the uncertainty that you may be feeling in your work and in your life. All right? Put a 1 in the chat if you see yourself pushing through fogginess. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see yourself pushing through fogginess this week. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see yourself pushing through fogginess this week. Because once you can envision it, baby, you can do it. Once you can envision it, you can do it. Okay? All right, that's my spiel. This week, it's a light week for Team TRM. Tonight, you can visit Regina and Mid-Journey Mondays. Mid-Journey Mondays with Regina, 7 p.m. Central. Tuesday, we have Color Me Calm. And Wednesday, I'm going to be sharing my next class. I've got a new class. I'm going to be teaching Opus Clips. It's not just Opus Clips. I'm going to teach you a complete workflow to go from Opus Clips to scheduled content. Okay? If you create live content like me, this is going to be very beneficial. If you don't create long 10, 20, 30-minute content, these are skills that you can charge as a service. All right? So I'll talk about that more Wednesday. But in the meantime, I want you guys to really, really give some thought to what is uncertain in your life, in your business, and what are some steps that you can take to get the clarity and insight that you need. All right? You're worth it. Your business is worth it. I'm so glad to be back. Happy Monday. We're talking about fear all month. This week, we're talking about uncertainty and fear. And I can't wait to connect back with you guys Wednesday to see how things are going. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.